Turning up like you always do. Head to toe covered in tattoos. Sooner or later you're gonna come loose. What the hell you gonna do?
Wow! Welcome back. This is NotAHeroYT, and welcome back to my channel. And I just finished watching the first episode of Mob Psycho 102, or Knee, like Nissan, not Central, but you know what I mean. It feels good. Like, it really feels good. Like, it feels like I'm back in an old suit I used to wear, but like, just somehow it grew out a little bit. Like, it fits around the edges a little bit. Like, it's just a weird mix, but it feels like I'm back in a good suit. Like, Mob Psycho 102 starts off really great. It was a nice slice of life episode to show us like the progression and what has happened between season 1 and season 2. So Mob is off with Reagan and they're doing their job, and they're going around ghost hunting in the sticks somewhere on the farm, and they come across this scarecrow demon, which turns out to be a demon that's actually possessing the roots of the vegetation in this farm. So this is a perfect opportunity for Mob to show us some of his transformation from season 1 to season 2 and some of his determination and his powers. So he quickly dispatches of this demon by learning and mimicking his ability to control things because he's never tried it. So obviously he's great at it. And it's not like the same thing like Kirito or some other anime where people just automatically know how to do someone's ability just because they saw it once. Looking at you, Go Tinks. But it's different in that way because Mob actually has this power. He's had this power inside him this entire time. He's just been afraid to use it. He's only used it for simple things because Reagan told him in season 1 that you shouldn't use your psychic powers for everything. You shouldn't rely on them, which is a good thing to tell someone, especially if you have your own powers. Because imagine if you could fly. Imagine how often you would abuse that power. Like, shit, if it was me, I wouldn't even have a car. Hell, I don't give a fuck who saw. Like, I would just fly to do menial tasks. Like, I would literally go outside, like, throw my shoe down the street and just fly to pick it up, just because I can, because why not? After they leave the farm, Mob goes back to school and he sees Tsubomi staring at him. That's his crush he's had. He's been in love with her since they were kids. And he finds out that the current acting student council president just quit and resigned. And then he also have his other friend, this psycho girl who tried to set him up for this cult in the first season. She wants to still try to make him the leader now that she knows that he used to be Shiro T. Poison, which was this gang leader, this mythical gang leader going around the school. That turned out to be him, but he was inadvertently the gang leader, but he didn't know he was because they thought it was his brother, but it was a weird story. You have to watch the first season. Either way, he gets convinced by the girl to run for student council president as some ploy to get him to be more, personable. So he goes through this whole training montage, and he goes to the point where it's time for the election. He goes on stand and doesn't say anything. He just falls flat. Stage fright overtakes the man. I felt so bad for him. Like, as a person who used to suffer stage fright when I was a kid, it sucks. Like, people don't really know how bad that sucks until you're actually on that stage in front of those people. But I'm completely over that now. Case in point. But he goes into shutdown mode, and eventually he gets a love letter from a secret admirer. Turns out, through his performance, he attracted the gaze of a girl named Emmy. So Emmy pretty much confesses her love to him, and we find out later that he turned her down. So Emmy starts showing up to Mob's after school practices and asking to walk home with him. So Mob goes and walks home with her, and they walk home every night. And then they start to get closer and closer, start to go on more and more dates, and then eventually Mob has a girlfriend. But it's so funny seeing everyone's reactions because everyone's so shocked because Mob is not. He's a very shy type of guy, so he's not the type of person to just go out and have a girlfriend the next day, especially after a huge, embarrassing moment like them having stage fright. It was just unheard of, and it's so funny watching their reactions. But you can tell Mob is actually getting into it by some of the things he does and the way he's feeling it. Unfortunately, we find out that Emmy was actually playing him. She was dared after Mob's embarrassing moment on stage. She was dared to pretty much confess to him, and Mob actually turned her down, and she was starting to wonder why that he started walked home with her every night. Like, why did he pretend to date her? Like, why is he using her if she was supposed to be using him. And he tells her that no, he just doesn't know how to talk to people. He doesn't know how to be in that situation, which is understandable. I mean, they're kids. But she gets upset. She walks away after telling him that she only did this on a dare. So Mob just kind of sits there, and then we flash forward to Emmy and her friends and her horrible ass friends who are taking advantage of her, and notices that she writes, and she's like trying to play it off as a game, like, oh no, I don't really write, I don't really do anything, I was just pretending. And then the other girl just rips it up in front of her, rips it on the ground. And I was like, that's kind of fucked up, but they're teenagers. So I mean, everyone's done some crazy shit when they were teenagers. So Mob actually comes across this, sees that, tells the girls that they shouldn't do that, and then starts picking up the shredded pieces of paper. So Emmy tells him to stop. You don't care, you need to pick up anything, it's trash, it's worthless. And he tells them and Emmy that he's doing this because you're throwing it away, which means that you don't care about it. But I feel like it's necessary to pick up and care about things that I find are important, which, no, I would say makes her happy, and they start picking them up together. And it was a really cool moment where you see Mob use his powers to pick up all the pieces of paper and put them back together. And that was a monumental moment for Mob as a character, as far as character development goes, because he's never revealed his powers to anyone. Because he is someone who, I don't want to say he hates his powers, he's just, they're there, and he's more concerned about being a normal person and getting a girlfriend more so than saving the world. But based on the opening for this anime, I don't think that's gonna happen, bro. Like, I feel like you got a lot to do, because as far as from what I've known, what I've heard, a bunch of organizations are gonna be coming out of the woodworks this season. Fights are going to be going crazy, and just based on that anime opening alone, this is going to be a great season. Amazing first episode. I'm excited to see how it goes from here. I hope you guys are along for the ride. You know how this goes. Yeah, I say first episode, or I watch something, you guys can give me a like, give me a comment or a share, do whatever you want. But always remember that I'm not a hero. You are. Bye.
When I was growing up, I had a lot of dreams. My mama told me, son, you could be anything, long as you spread your wings. I know one day you'll be